Turn around.
Good morning, you too.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Not too
Doing
bad.
fairly good.
All right, very good.
This is the fourth floor, by the way.
Yeah, I know this is not the room I was suggesting.
Well, so I read your messages as 1 second. So let me just clarify some things.
Okay.
Okay, City Hall where C.G. shot up the council. Second floor judge chambers. I was a little confused, so I just came here.
Yeah, I just wanted to see where you'd end up at, like telling you two different places. I just wanted to know which place stood out more in your mind, the place where CG shot everyone, or the second floor judge chambers.
Well,
And you came here,
it was your wording that made that one stand out more to me.
Well, I mean, regardless, is the point
You're
is
sitting
we're
where
here.
TJ died.
Well, I hope someone comes in and shoots me next.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad.
I mean, it is, having the governor have you write a specific system and then just reversing it 4 months later is really fucking obnoxious. But
I don't view it
that
as
being
that.
aside, that doesn't change the fact that we have to move forward from what was in the past. So, have you both had a chance to read the response from the state?
I've read it 4
Absolutely.
times.
Okay, very good. So we have a couple of options here. One, we can either pause that legislation until we can all come together with a new one to amend it. Or two, we could just kind of let it ride until we can figure out how we're going to be doing this amendment going forward. What sounds more preferable to you?
You know, I was thinking we could start with an injunction, followed by myself and Fred here coming up with a proposal which can be reviewed by the DOJ that places all legislative authorities on an even playing ground when it comes to procedure.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Well, yeah, we would.
Yeah, so specifically it says, it is encouraged that all authorities immediately create a resolution to amend the legislation together for the people. So we're going to do that, all three of us together.
Well, that
Absolutely. And the way we
Yeah, we can
arrive
try.
there, exactly. The way that we arrive there can be at the end.
Yeah, that's not
Yes.
happening.
But the process by which we do that, I mean, it's our prerogative.
Sure, and I'm not doing that.
You don't want to review our proposal?
I want to make the proposal with you, considering that this is
Absolutely.
legislation that we're going
That's
to
what
be
I said.
amending together. That's not
wanted-
what you said. You said you wanted you two to write it, and then you could put it up to me as a quote unquote judge
to
to
the
review
justices.
it. I'm not going to do that. We're going to write it together.
Well, what we could do is just write it up, and then it could just go to you guys. You approve it, and then it just goes to the people to vote on. You know, if they want to contest it or not.
Exactly, and there's plenty of room to discuss. No one's
That's not going to
barring
happen.
you from doing that.
Well, why not?
Because we're going to be in the room when the rules are written.
Of course, that's exactly what we're saying.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is though. That's what we said.
It's not. You're saying you're going to write a proposal. You're going to give it to the DOJ and allow the DOJ to review it.
No. Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding. We fully expect that the room would have the justices as well as Dr. Nyanash. And that proposal would be our recommendation. Still open for dissemination, conversation, and alteration.
Yeah, I mean, the legislation passed in question is granting power unrightfully against the Constitution's vision.
I mean, you could say that all you want, but the governor signed off from it from the future or from the past. So just because they've changed their mind now doesn't mean that it was bad at the time.
I'm not sure I am aware of the governor signing something and reneging. That's not my reading of this.
Okay, I mean, you weren't there when all this was done, so
I'm merely looking at the signatures.
Sure, and interestingly enough, his signature's not even on this. So,
are you trying to say it's a fake document?
It could be.
It's not fake.
Okay, well, where's his signature?
Isn't his name state officials?
No. I mean, there's no letterhead, there's no seal, there's really nothing substantiating this to be an official document. So,
Hey,
the only reason that I'm treating it as official is because I've received it from the states directly.
So what's the point you're trying to make?
Yeah.
The point is that, you're trying to play word games here. And I'm telling you through my lived experience that I've quite clearly been in contact with these people. I'm aware of what the initial institutions were supposed to be, considering that I quite literally authored the document that you two try to quote to me constantly.
Which is our prerogative.
Sure, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm just saying I think it's a little bit silly for you to sit there and act like I'm just making shit up.
No one's saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just
So
basing it off this official state notice.
okay, sure. So sure, going forward, yeah, that power granted is granted unrightfully. So how are we gonna fix that?
Well, me and Nino had an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
Gotcha. So, basically, as outlined in this state notice, it does institute that the DOJ has uncontested authority over legal and judicial matters in San Andreas. And then it just goes down to say, to clarify, legal or judicial matter both arise from disputes in law as part of a judicial proceeding. So what me and Nino were going to do was we were going to do our jobs and legislate, and then if you have, a judicial discrepancy against what we make, then I guess you can contest it and it can go to the people to vote.
That's not gonna happen.
That's the process.
That's not the process.
Well, right now there is no process.
Right. And this letter specifically has the governor or the state officials telling us to make a new one.
Which Pred has just proposed an example.
Yeah,
No,
I
he's
just
not. He
proposed
said you two are gonna make a process. We're gonna put some notes on it and then let the people vote. I'm sorry, that's not the process. That's just some bastardized interpretation of whatever you think the process should be.
Well, clearly you
is no
don't know what the
process.
process is because this is
Because there
written
isn't
to you.
one. There isn't one. It's not written to me. It's
Well,
written to all of us.
I did legislate in the dead of night. I followed the process.
I followed the process too. How can you honestly how can you sit here and find me at fault for using the power that was granted to me at the time?
Well, I don't think it ever was, to be honest,
It was.
based on this document.
It was the initial 7 pieces of legislation were all signed off by the state before we even launched the Constitution. That was with uncontested authority before we
Agreed.
amended it.
I think we're in agreement with that.
Chat, can you
The
guys not
primary
say dumb
concern
shit,
here
please?
is these edits that followed it.
Let's not
Which
say
are part
dumb
of-
shit
which is
about
part of the
people. I don't care
legislation,
what
allowing
people say
justice to
about me in
modify
their
things at
chats and
will.
stuff like that. But
Because
let's not
Where
we
do you
knew
say
that
that?
things were we knew that things were going to be pretty fucky to start. We knew that things were going to need quick changes. We knew that things were going to need to be fixed, and that's what that clause was for. It
But I
allowed
think
us
that's
to
just
do
your
expedient-
interpretation.
It's not though, because that's how the discussion went.
Yeah, but I think that's
I mean,
just
listen. You could you could not like that, and that's totally fine, right? You could not like that we had that power, and you could not like that we were able to do things that well. I don't disagree with you not liking that. I wouldn't like that either, honestly, if I was in your shoes. But you can't sit here and act like that power was just stolen under the nose of the states. It was intended
That's
like
how it
that
appears,
at the start,
though.
but it wasn't.
I mean, the
State
people are
officials
supposed to
seem to
have a
disagree.
say. Yeah,
That's not at all what they've said.
We can use a very precise example. In the document that was contested, there is a edit made, I want to say a week and a half ago, in which it was added in.
Okay.
By
And there
adding
was
in
a
that
whole
document,
chain of discussion and voting with justices in our internal communications.
and hence the contest. And this includes the 35 to 50 edits that were made afterwards. While there is some understanding that some of those edits early on, shortly after the Constitution was passed, there can be some understanding around that, why things need to be changed and whatnot. But 4 months later, well, that's a different story. At that
Sure.
stage,
And
it's
4 months
clear-
later, now the state's saying, "Hey, let's change it up. We got
Well-
everything set up."
Well, the question that I have, right, is so, Nino, you were talking about the FOIA legislation thing, right? That's what you were just talking about? Just to be specific?
No, we are being specifically the DOJ procedure that was added about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I think it was the day that we were sworn in.
It was the day before. That
Which
was
one?
the judicial powers codified, I'm assuming, is what he's talking about?
Mhm.
No, it's the one that we're contesting.
Oh, okay, my bad.
the one that says San Andreas Department of Justice, and it's got a whole thing inside, whole update to it.
Well, it's so should we talk about the FOIA
October 20th.
October, yeah, so that was the day before. Because I was in office on the 21st. Okay. So is the state official not aware of the FOIA legislative changes either? This is based off the other thing that was contested.
I don't think they give a shit, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't, if they didn't give a shit, they wouldn't write this letter.
If they gave a shit, then they would have said something about it.
That's what the letter does.
The letter specifically is a response to an audit that was submitted by Nino Chavez. I took the letter and I presented it to them
you
for
mean
their
the
consideration.
moron?
Yes, the moron.
You know, it's your definition is pretty interesting given the outcome here, there, Angel.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can say that all you want, but at the end of the day, I wrote the Constitution and you just didn't. So,
Congratulations, and I audited it.
Yeah, yeah.
okay, congratulations. Proud of you.
Thank you very much.
You used
Well-
the power that I granted you.
So it doesn't sound like you want to work with us. It's that you want us to
I
continue
do.
doing the things the way you want them,
No,
though.
That's
I wa-
exactly what I'm
no,
hearing.
I do want to work with you, but you two are just sitting here ignoring any potential pretext that could allow us to move forward.
No, we
So-
were
so-
offering forward ideas.
Let me
Right, and
let
I
me-
told you I don't want to do that. So because you two wanted me to be your equal, you're going to treat me as an equal now, which means that we're not going to go forward with that. We're going to come up with a solution that all three of us are okay with.
Well, if you're our
Hold-
equal and
wait,
the
wait,
two of
wait.
us decide
What?
to do something, then you just get outvoted by it.
It's not how that works.
We don't even have Dr. Naya here.
Yeah,
Or
we don't have the other
justices.
justices here either.
Okay. I mean, this isn't even really a formal hearing. I mean, this is us going to have to figure some shit out because we either fix this or we don't, and then the state's going to fix it for us.
I
There's no
think
rush.
you may be absolutely misunderstanding myself and Pred. We want everybody present. We want to
Okay, that's
work
fine.
together to ensure that we come to a agreement and a resolution so the state can move forward.
Sure.
We're in agreement then.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know why you're changing what you want now after the fact.
I think it's more the interpretation of what you perceive we might be saying.
I'm literally interpreting the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Pred, are we in agreement with what we're saying?
Yeah, I feel like we're in agreement. It's just I'm not really sure how. So let's roll things back a second. How do you interpret this official state notice then? Because me and Nino interpret it a completely different way than you do, by the sounds of the conversation that we had.
I interpret this to indicate that the Department of Justice, any legislative authority or any legislation that we would seek to pass would have to be done through a popular vote, and that the legislation that, like, the main bulk of legislation that we would be producing would be done through court hearings, so legislative audits, legislative contests, civil trials, criminal trials, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I just want us, me and Nino just want to follow that process where we legislate it, and then, you guys make, spell check it or whatever you guys do in the DOJ, and then we fucking, it goes to vote. So that way the people.
The DOJ doesn't spell check it.
Well,
You guys
in a
just
way.
don't understand. Like, that's how it's supposed to work, but the process doesn't really dictate that. So, you two can
That's
say,
why we get to make a new one.
you said I want to have everyone here, but now you two are saying we want to make this alone, and then we'll present it
No.
to you to just
No,
spell
no,
check
no,
it.
no, no,
Like,
no,
that's
no,
just
no, no.
absurd.
No,
How can
no,
you
no,
sit
no,
here
no.
and get upset with me for interpreting you saying that when you're quite literally saying that?
Let me break it down for you. We need everyone present and in agreement, right, to move forward with this process.
Correct.
Right. What was said at the very beginning is that my intent and the intent by Pred, having already spoken about this, is that I myself am going to go in and have and think about what would I like to have changed. I am then going to confer with my colleague so that we have some kind of common understanding. similar to how we fully expect that you are going to have a conversation with the other justices as to what you perceive the resolution should look like. And then when all parties come together, we take all of the work that we've done and say, hey, how do we find common ground and a common resolution? That is what we are saying.
Okay, but that's not what you said at first.
That is exactly what I said. Maybe I didn't word it well.
Okay, it's not at all what you said.
Maybe I didn't word it well.
Okay, no, you said literally what
I
Pred
feel like
just
he
said,
did word
and
it
now you're
pretty
changing
well.
it up. No, you didn't. You said you two were going to come up with something, and then you'll present to the DOJ for consideration. That's literally what you said.
The room, not just the DOJ. Dr. Naya's not here either.
I just want
Maybe
to
that's
follow
what you
the
intended, but that's
process.
not what you communicated.
That is exactly what I intended.
Sure, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, fantastic.
But in the meantime, since you're requesting an injunction, I need to know specifically what exactly you're requesting.
It's an injunction on you.
Okay. For why?
What do you mean for why? It's
For
obvious,
why?
right?
Is it?
Yeah, you're mad with power, Angel. I mean, you change everything in the dead of night. You know.
Do I? I'm sorry that you've never read a Discord announcement in your life, Pred, but they get announced weekly in the DOJ announcements channel.
Yeah, why would I read that?
Because that's a statewide announcement that is persistent and lasts through storms.
Yeah, why would I bother reading that?
Because it details the changes that the Department of Justice is making that you so-called claim to be night changes.
Yeah.
So you just don't care about being informed?
I feel like I'm informed enough.
We clearly aren't, though. You're not reading the announcements.
I'm just reading the legislation.
Well, apparently
that
the
you're changing.
Constitution wasn't read either, you know, which is why we're all here. But here's in regards to an injunction, if one was to be made, it would be done so formally.
Okay.
But as to is there anything else we want to discuss? There's a lot of work to be done.
Anything else on your mind? We could sit
Well,
here
for
and
me?
talk for a while if you want.
Yeah,
I'd be open to that.
Yeah, we can sit here talk all we want. Frankly, I really have nothing better to do today, so.
The FOIA. Still waiting on
Sure.
that.
Well, I mean, I'm not the one that's handling your request. You'll need to go find the officer that is.
Okay, perfect.
Can you handle my FOIAs?
No.
Why
There's
not?
plenty of other people that can take your FOIA requests.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you'll do a better job at it for me than they will.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, all right.
Isn't it? You're right there. You're law enforcement there, Angel.
Yeah, you are law
Sure.
enforcement. Or are you wearing a different hat in here today?
If you submitted a request to someone, I'm not processing the request for you, Pat. I'm not doing that. Go talk to the person you submitted a request with.
Well, that person's you. I'd be submitting the request with you.
Okay, what's your request?
I would love to get every FOIA related to Kyle Pred, every incident, every report, everything that the state marshal's office has on me, and I would love to have all that
Why?
information. As I have a gigantic court case against me, and any and all
Then
information.
motion to compel them on the docket, and you can get those for free.
Why do I have to motion to compel on the docket?
Because they'll be obligated to provide them to you. FOIA is not really a process for that. You would motion to compel it.
Well, I mean, I'd rather just go to you for it.
Okay, well, I'm telling you that the correct process, if you're speaking out in records specifically with regards to your court case, would be to compel the other side to present them to you on the docket.
Well, I don't know if you're really the best person for me to ask about the processes, doing that you didn't follow your own processes in the first place.
Then why are you asking me?
Well, because I was just asking you to get me the documents.
I'm telling you to motion to compel on the docket.
If I'm not mistaken, Pred, you wanted it for reasons beyond just the court case. Am I correct in saying so?
Yes.
Okay, what are those reasons?
Server restart is one of them. I am not used to the early fucking restart time.